Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm making this 10-inch tall, fully adjustable veneer cutting fence for my bandsaw. And the reason is, a few months ago I started working on this design and I need some thin natural wood in different species. The only wood that's available for my laser etcher is plywood, typically from X-Tool, and it comes in a couple of different sheets and a couple of different sizes. There's really not very much variety to it, and what I want to be able to use is all sorts of different varieties and all sorts of different thicknesses, so I need to be able to cut my own veneers, and this is going to help me do that. So let's get started. So before I get started on cutting wood, it looks like I've pre-finished this wood. I have not. This was somebody's kitchen cabinets that they'd taken out of their house. It was beautiful, high-grade plywood, bone dry, been in the house for 20 or 30 years, and I got it for free because they're just giving it away, trying to get rid of it. And I thought, you know what? I can use wood like this for jigs and things like that. And this is a perfect example of where you can save money on wood. So I'm just going to go ahead now and cut this to the proper height. Okay, I'm at the bandsaw, obviously, and I'm getting ready to drill the holes for the two mag switches because they're going to be what grabs that and pulls that down into place. But also, because I'm using mag switches, it means that I can easily move it around, back and forth, up and down, whatever I need to do. So I've already marked the holes, and one's going to go right there, a center one there, and a center one there, and then the uprights will come in here. So next, we'll go over to the bandsaw, and I'll show, or the drill press, and I'm going to cut out these holes, and I'm going to show you a trick for mounting these. So before I drill these holes, I want to show you this. So what most people do is measure the base of their mag switch. In this case, I'm using the 150, and it requires a 1 5/8 hole, and drops in there like that. And then all you have to do is put a couple of screws in each side, and that holds it from twisting. The other thing you can do is just simply hold it, because that's all you have to do is hold it, and it will lock down. Now, it won't because I'm on wood here, but normally you're on a steel base. That's where you're using these. But here's what I've been doing for years. Instead of drilling 1 5/8 hole, I drill 2 holes that are 1 3/8, because this diameter on a mag switch fits a 1 3/8. But if you offset them by 3/8 of an inch, so you actually drill 2 holes with a Forstner bit, you can just drop that right in there, and you never have to bother about using screws. You can lock that down very quickly with one hand, and if you want to use these on another tool or something later, you just take it like that, lift them out, and they're done. So 1 3/8, 2 holes, and you'll watch me do this, and on a 3/8 offset, and you don't have to fuss around with holding it and putting screws in by just drilling 1 hole. Okay, so I'm all set up. I'm going to drill 2 holes. Here's the first hole. Now the next thing I'm doing, if your drill bit, mine is really sharp. If your drill bits are not that sharp, you may want to clamp it, but I find I don't need to. It actually bites in there without clamping. So I'm just going to mark a 3/8, and I'm just using one of my measuring bars for that. Really simple, quick and simple. And now I'm just going to make my second cut. And all I do is bring the drill bit down so that I measure it so that it's right on the line of that second cut. Okay, let's take that out. Got a little bit of, and that's it. So there's the board that's going to be the braces, and you can see the line there. I just need to cut that in half, and the safest way to do that is just on the bandsaw, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Well, that's the easiest dry fit I've ever put together. And I've actually checked it with my square, and when I put everything sort of where it's going to line up there, it all lines up nicely. So what I'm going to do now, and some of this I probably do off camera rather, I'm going to make a line across there, and I'm going to drill 4 holes, and I'm just going to put some screws in there. And what I'll probably do, because I can lock this down on my table saw here, just like that, and I'll drive the screws in from here. Now, before I do anything, the first thing I want to check, even though this is a brand new blade, I want to check to make sure there's no drift in this blade. So what I'm doing, I've got my marking gauge here, and I'm just putting a line on it like that. Okay, now that cut looks pretty straight to me, but I'm going to mark this right on the deck like that, and now I can pull that off, and there, that shows my line on there. So I can do a couple of things here. I can put a square on that to see if it is square, and you know what? There's this tiny bit of wander on, even on that brand new blade. So what I'm going to do, I've got my square here, my adjustable square, and I'm just going to put that right on that line, lock that down. And now I'm going to use that, double check that, I'm going to use that as the square of my bandsaw. So the veneers that I want to cut are 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go a little bit thicker than this, and I'm just going to put that in, not quite touching the blade, but so that there's going, because I still want to be able to plane that down. So that's going to be right about there. And now I'm going to take this and adjust that to the angle that I know that there's a bit of drift in this blade, brand new blade, and there's still a little bit of drift in it. There we go. I'm gonna get a little bit tighter on that. There we go. Yeah, that's very good. Okay, now I lock it down, both sides. Okay, so there's my middle part, and it's actually, I might be able to use that as well, but you can see that it's rough on both sides, so I might be able to just sand that, or plane it down and get a thinner piece. Now here's the ones that are 1/4 inch, and probably some sawdust in there. But you can see that it's pretty good all the way along there. It's never going to be perfect. All I want, well, for me anyway, it's probably never going to be perfect. But, you know, it's very close, because the next thing now is to go to the planer anyway. So there's a little bit of, it's for some reason it's a little thick in the middle. I don't quite know why that is, but both sides are, you know, they're slightly more than 1/4 inch, which is all that I wanted, because now I can take this to the planer and cut that down. So that worked out very well. I'm very happy with that. That'll give me tons of wood now that I can cut my own thickness, my own species, and do all sorts of different things on my laser. Well, that concludes my video for today, and I'm actually anxious to get over to the planer so that I can get this wood down to a nice thickness that I can use on my laser and cut this off, because I've been dreaming about doing something like this for quite a number of months now, so I'm finally getting close to actually doing it. I did another video that'll pop up here, I guess. Another jig, in this case, the other jig was for cutting logs. So if you get fireplace logs, if you get something special and you want to cut that into lumber, you can use that jig to do that. So now I've got 2 of them that I can, if I find a log that I can cut up, and then I can use this to actually cut it, fine tune it to get the wood to the thickness that I want. I'm Colin Canet for Woodwork Web. Thanks for watching.